Who that family? Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. So check out the Pro Shop and who that too. TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned in to Pelican Post Game Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate you guys being here on this installment of the show. Much love to the family members coming at the family with a Pelican Post Game Report Hump Day edition. And I'd like to thank the flock for chiming in and my brother DC for being here as well. We won't be holding you for very long on this installment of the Pelican Post Game Report. Please feel free to hit upon the like button. Please feel free to subscribe to the Pelican Post Game Report and join the flock. So big ups to the family members. And the name of this one, man, Pelicans Coach Update. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to go over some news, notes, and items as well in this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report. So just giving a big shout out to the entire flock. Rudy, Josh in the bag, Kai the Great, Randolph, what's up, fam? Good to see you. Pelicans Nola as well. Good to see you. Devin C's in the building. Elliot, brother Elliot as well. Who that to you, Melanin God. Big ups to you, Shedrick, and the rest of the flock members. Much love to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Please hit the like button and please feel free to share the show on your social media as well. So as we get going, fam, what's up, Todd? Good to see Todd as well. Big ups to the rest of the family members as we get this one going. Like we said, we won't be spending a lot of time with your family, 35, 40 minutes. We'll get up in here and get this latest stuff starting off. And a lot of news has been circulating with the Pelicans. We wanted to kind of share some of this information with the family members, in particular, the coaching update. Of course, we know already this bit of information right here that Coach Fred Vinson is to be interviewed by the Pelicans coaching staff as well. So as DC feels, it's about damn time, right, DC, that we add Freddie V into the mixture after talking about all these out of the building guys.
It only took 12 years, Q.
I know, just 12. Just 12.
Man, that man really worked his way up from the bottom. He started from the bottom for real. Everybody be saying they started from the bottom, boy. Freddie V ain't lying.
Nah,
took it 12 years to get the damn interview just to be the coach.
And how about that? But we're going to chime in, man. We're going to go and start it off with this article right here with one guy removed from the coaching search. Jacques Vaughn removes himself from consideration for the Pelicans head coaching job. It's coming from WDSU's platform. Pelicans, yes.
You do know that Danny Ferry removed himself from the GM Race before we got David Griffin, right?
He wanted to right. He wanted to just be an assistant.
Why would I want the whole pie when I could just have a piece?
He didn't want the job. I remember that. Danny Ferry did not want the job. He was to be an advisor for Dale Demps. They did everything they could do to help that idiot. He just was no good. Brooklyn Nets assistant coach Jacques Vaughn has removed himself for consideration from the New Orleans Pelicans head coach position. Adrian Wojnarowski broke the news. You can see Woj's tweet right there. As well, Vaughn was considered by many the front runner, or he had traction, whatever that means, for the position in New Orleans. Former college star at the University of Kansas, an NBA champion player with the Spurs. Vaughn was the head coach of the Magic from 2012 to 2015. He's been with the Nets as an assistant since 2016. Wojnarowski reports Vaughn's choose to remove himself from consideration because of remaining in Brooklyn as an assistant coach would allow him to spend more time with his family. Sources tell WDSU Charles Lee, an assistant coach with the Bucks, is the leading candidate to replace Stan Van Gundy, who two weeks ago mutually agreed to part ways. And I don't understand if you get fired and the man say, listen, I don't know if it's mutual. You have absolutely no choice but to be fired if he tell you, we don't want you here no more. What you gonna do? What you gonna tell him? No, you better keep me. I ain't going nowhere.
I think it is mutual, Q.
Gonna mutually have you removed by the police.
Man, look, we all work here or then had jobs, and if they pull you in the office and they say, now listen, we want you to go home, right? And stay there permanently.
Never come back.
Wait. There's more. We're still gonna pay you. How about that?
Oh, I'm taking my ass home. Thank you.
It was mutual. You get it? Stan Van Gundy still getting his checks.
If he
that was the mutual part about it.
That will work. Getting paid. That will work. That will definitely work.
Then he might mess around and double dip. We might see Stan Van Gundy back in the booth with the game. He double dip 2 checks.
He definitely going back, DC. He going back to the booth to talk about it. Ain't no doubt about that.
You talking about he a failure? That's a success in my eyes, man. Yeah, he pimped y'all out of 2 checks.
He done won the game. All right. Next one, Freddie Vinson to be interviewed for the New Orleans Pelicans head coaching position. This is a really good one here from Jacob Rood. This is from the Lonzo Wire. And New Orleans Pelicans coaching search this offseason looks to be far less extensive than last offseason. While the team spent months searching before landing Stan Van Gundy in the fall this offseason, the search appears likely to only last a few weeks, ending with an interview of current Pelicans assistant Fred Vinson per Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report. Now, of course, they give you some insight. Former Magic play caller Jacques Vaughn has seemingly emerged as the most likely candidate. But, of course, we know he backed up out of that thing. Couple of things of note. First, the calibrates the report from Brian Windhurst and from NOLA.com's Christian Clark that Vaughn is at least one of the leading candidates for the position. Secondly, reported, of course, he was pulled out of the report there. But most interestingly, though, the mention of Vinson as a candidate, one of the most valuable assistants Vinson has been interviewed could be Vinson being interviewed could be a move on to 2 fronts, vetting a potential candidate while also showing a level of respect that could help him around should the team hire a different candidate. Vinson has close relationship with Lonzo Ball, Ingram, after helping both remake their jumpers, and also worked with Zion Williamson on his free throw shooting. He has been a valuable commodity to rebuilding franchise, and his hard work has been rewarded with a coaching interview. However, by nearly all accounts, it appears to be this is the old report priorly before Vaughn decided to step down. But isn't it very strange, DC, to say the least, that every time you hear them talk about a coach, is Freddie Vinson is always the next guy. Like you said, well, Jacques Vaughn had the traction. Now Vaughn said, "No, I want to be with my family. I don't want to leave Brooklyn." Oh, now it's Charles Lee with the traction. Where's Vinson in the deal? You mean to tell me that like I said, ask the players who they want to, get them involved. And I know what you was talking about.
That might be why Vinson, they pulling Vincent's name up. Maybe he is asking the players.
They got to ask the players. Remember you said, didn't we cover that? What Griffin said, it's not fair to ask the players, to get the players involved. He is such a bar. Just smack him on top of that ball ass head till it turn red as a Louisiana strawberry. Well, only I'm saying that the bottom line is that you definitely have to get the players involved. Lonzo, B.I., and Zion love this man. He's been with the organization, DC, for 11 years. What more he got to do to prove that that if anybody is New Orleans to the core and deserve, and you're looking for an assistant, you know, why not give it to Freddie Vinson? And they finally interviewing him, but Lee is the dude. We're gonna cover that story. But get your thoughts on that, my friend.
Yeah, man, Freddie V should have been got an interview in my opinion, but according to the article, I like what they said of him sounding like he may get the final interview. Like they're gonna interview all the other candidates and then interview Freddie V. Behind all of those guys, which
Shouldn't
to
that be in
me,
reverse?
I mean, you could put it how you want it, but if he's gonna get an interview, I'm happy with that. But to me, them interviewing him last is like, let me see if they got something better out there. If not, we gonna give you the job, kind of thing.
Yep.
But that might end up what winds up happening though. I mean, Charles Lee may be a good candidate. Don't know a whole bunch about him, but I can look at the success of the teams he's been with and say, okay, well, that's something to hang your hat on. And now you got Willie Green, his name, Mean Willie Green Jr. His daddy was the drummer for Aaron Neville and them, I believe, right? We call him Mean Willie or something like that. But he played for us, so you got another guy who was a Pelican. I remember I went Dick Sporting Goods, seen him, and used to be all around the city. Man, that dude, he ain't care, bro. He was everywhere, and they're gonna give him an interview as well, Q.
I know
So
we got that coming up next. We're gonna break it down. Like I don't know if a lot of the family members were aware of the fact that Willie Green is now a guy that popped up on the Pelicans radar as well. But as you can see, this is the top candidate according to various reports that Charles Lee makes the best choice to be the next head coach of the Pelicans. This is coming from the Bird Rights. And our good friend over there, Ali Kosel, delivers this article as he thinks Charles Lee should be the guy. Having worked closely with Giannis and Middleton, the experience of Milwaukee's assistant coach feel invaluable to Zion and BI's development. That's well said. Pelicans are on the clock and announcing a new head coach after all the more enviable landing spots have been filled. 4 of the 7 head coaching vacancies around the NBA have been crossed off the list in recent days. Emi Udoka landed in Boston, Rick Carlisle in Indiana, Jason Kidd in Dallas, Chauncey in Portland. 2 names that have been most often connected to New Orleans, though still sit on the board. Charles Lee and, of course, Jacques Vaughn's no longer there. In other words, there's little reason for anxiety about the length of this search because the Pelicans haven't missed on signing one of their top choices. For as much as I've been able to gather, either candidate would make for a fine addition to lead the Pelicans. Numerous positive remarks exist about both men. Each have received meaningful endorsements. All of the validation boxes have been checked. However, one is distinctly more favorable, in my opinion. And of course, he talks about the connections, how Lee is, how he his relationship with guys like Giannis and Middleton, which are 2 of the core members of that Milwaukee club. And Lee has closely watched, learned from them, and most importantly, contributed to the development of Giannis and Middleton. He's also a great understanding of the symbiotic relationship on the rest of the Bucks. It is noteworthy that the Bucks duo is playing the best ball of their career, and the Bucks are on the doorstep of their first championship since 1971. Think how incredibly beneficial that knowledge would come in handy when working with 2 similarly contrast forwards in Ingram and Zion Williamson. Then, of course, he goes into a lot of really good breakdowns of why he feels with Charles Lee, how he's a good X and O guy, but also really personable, knows how to talk to the coaches, know how to navigate around general managers as well. And a lot of people not excited, including myself. I'm not really excited about Charles Lee. I did some research on him. Understand he comes from some intriguing coaching trees and as well. But maybe I'm just biased toward Freddie V because Freddie V was doing some great work. And even though I know Charles Lee did some great work with Giannis and Middleton, I could say the same thing about Freddie V's work with Lonzo, recreating his shot, also helping BI out in what he did, and also what he did with Zion. That's what I'm saying. So what Charles Lee's done with Giannis and Middleton and other players on that team is comparable to what Freddie V's doing. So let's cover Charles Lee before we move to Willie. Let's talk about him, DC.
First off, Charles Lee is a long shot because I've been watching this Bucks Hawks series, and in my opinion, I think the Hawks gonna win that series. And if they do win that series, the Bucks they had a layup line, man, to be able to get to the finals. If they don't cash it in, I mean, they realistically could fire Bud. They could be looking for a change because let's be honest, man, it's the Hawks. They in there making noise. It should be happy to be here. coach came in the middle of the season. Ain't no way they supposed to beat this Bucks team that then been in and out the conference finals the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So if Coach Bud gets fired, wouldn't it make more sense for Lee to maybe hang around with Milwaukee and see if he can get an interview there? They may look to move on with him, which is why we could be hearing about Willie Green name coming up. But if you look at what Milwaukee's done over there, obviously Middleton, second round draft pick guy, and turned himself into an all star. And you seen the maturation of Giannis. Those guys were developed. I don't know if people realize that, but they took guys and they turned them into something. And he was there the whole time helping with that. So obviously the brother does have some talent, and he would be I think be able to help any franchise, honestly, if he was around that. Just being around that, all that winning, it got to rub off on you. But just looking at the circumstances with the way it is, man, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Milwaukee keeps Bud, and he may be the next guy up. And also, I'm not super like I talked to you about this. I ain't crazy about trying to build our team or replicate the Bucks. Oh, obviously, you want to replicate what winning teams do, but I don't want, we trying to get Bi to be Middleton and Zion to be Giannis, and I don't want that, man. To me, championship teams are teams that go on to become historic. They usually mold their own path, or they're extremely unique, or they're different. And I think we already got that going. So him coming here, he could try to mold them in the same vein as Middleton and Giannis. So that's the one negative I have about him. Everything else, it would be positives, other than I think he's young, and David Griffin, like I said, could try to put them strings on him and move him around like Puppet Master. I ain't crazy about that either.
I mean, he can still pull that same stuff with Freddie V. I don't think none of these assistant coaches that you currently looking at are guys that will buck Griffin in his style. That needs to be addressed, but that's only could be addressed from people on high that recognize that his style is detrimental to the growth and development of the team. It's a dysfunctional a style that he needs to quit, which he doesn't have the discipline to do because he's an attention whore. He wants all of the attention and the credit for if the team succeeds. That's why he's so vocal and out front. He don't need to be as vocal or as visible as he is. Elliot says if interview last year, he said if Lee interviewed last year and when they went with SVG, do y'all think he would want the job? That's an interesting question right there. I think
They're not handing out head coaching jobs to anybody, so I don't think they're that abundant. And he is the type of guy that could just be passing up opportunities to be a head coach, in my opinion. Like, it ain't like he's some type of veteran and been a head
it's a,
coach before.
yeah, it's an attractive destination. The Pelicans are, even though the Pelicans aren't winning.
Well,
We know
that's not what the people said after Jock Vaughn dropped out. They said
well.
nobody don't want to come here.
Well, I don't know what Jock Vaughn talking about or what he's smoking on or where
No,
he hit
Jock
it.
Vaughn ain't say that. That's what the national media is saying.
Well, I don't know. Let's replace the national media. What I said about Jack Brown. I don't know what the national media is smoking on or where they fell out and hit their head at. But the Pelicans are an attractive destination. The Pelicans have superstars on this damn team, and the only problem with it is you had an asshole for a coach who wouldn't bend to the rules, and you have a tentacled, fake bootleg Jerry Jones as a VP trying to play general manager. That's the two things. That's the two problems we had. And remember, the bootleg Jerry Jones VP slash de facto GM was the one that brought SVG up on this team. So DC, I'm gonna give you
How
opportunity.
the hell he skip? I see you, Kev. How the hell he skip right past Mark Jackson and kiss that fat Gundy? How they do that? But let me ask you a question, Kev. I'm gonna tell you who gonna be getting Mark Jackson. ABC and
What's up, KK?
ESPN. That's who getting Mark Jackson, man. The hold is still on. They still blackballing our dude, man. I love for him to be the coach of the Pelicans, but more importantly, I just love to see him get a coaching job anywhere because I just don't think it's fair. And it's obvious the man was a damn good coach. I mean, look at the Warriors. He put that shit together.
That was his baby.
Me, that's who.
They were trash prior to that. People forget that history of the Golden State Warriors. They were a bad team for a long time. They were a bad team for a long time, and I'm talking about since Mitch Richmond was there. When you had Richmond running around there and all that. I'm not Mitch Richmond.
Chris
Tim
Mullin.
Hard, Tim Hardaway, and Chris Mullin, and then
Mm-hmm.
Chris Webber came there. And then after that,
Chris
they
Webber ain't stay long. He
yeah,
went. He
and
came
then
and left.
and they were bad for a long time and a joke for a long time until Mark Jackson went there and really got it together. He got helped Steph Curry get together, and they really started really putting it together after that because Steph Curry was inconsistent. He was hurt,
Them
and then
ankle
he
boy.
couldn't hold up. And Mark Jackson helped him with that, helped build that team and put them together. And then they ran him up out of there and put Steve Kerr up
And
top of
wait,
there.
wait. On top of that, I don't think people remember. We got to go a little further back, Q. Mark Jackson was the point guard for almost 15, 16 something years
Long time.
for the
The Knicks, the
the
Pacers.
Indiana Pacers, man. And what was the Knicks? And who else he played for? I think it was just them two teams, huh? But I
I
remember
think he had a run with the Clippers. I won't say. I mean,
he
he
had a run
played
with the
with a couple.
Clippers too.
I want to say that. I want to
Man,
say I
he was
remember him with the
magical with
Clippers.
them Pacers to me, man. I was
Mm-hmm.
a young boy and I remember that team, man. I was actually one of the few that was actually rooting for Indiana to beat Michael Jordan. Boy, that didn't turn out good. But I was rooting for him though. And Mark Jackson was magical, man. He had that team running like a well-oiled machine, man. And it seems to me if you can be a great point guard, I know y'all wasn't happy about the whole Jason Kidd thing, but this is the philosophy I have. If you can be a great point guard, 9 times out of 10, you can be a pretty damn good coach. Maybe a great coach, maybe not, but you'll at least be good because it's hell of a basketball mind, man. Especially if you was great at the NBA level, that elite at point guard, man. You know how much you got to know. So I respect them dudes, man. And Mark Jackson is one at the tip top to me.
Yeah, not even getting a look. I mean, they
Well,
have a search.
we covered it when we went over that story. It's
It's
all
just
about the
glaring
mistake he
ridiculous.
made. It was a mistake. I mean, I hate this culture where people can't mess up and okay, yeah, you take your lumps, you know what I'm saying? You take your medicine and you take your punishment. But
Tough to
after
get.
that, at what point, do you get a second chance? Like, can we look past it? What happened with Mark Jackson is almost 10 years ago. That man is not the same person from when that happened to who he is today. So it's like, but that's where we at, man. You make one wrong move in this cancel culture and it's supposed to be over with for you. You can't do nothing no more.
I said we turn it on top of them. That's what we need to do. Turn it on them because that's all they doing. The same people using that. So I won't turn it on them. And usually the people using it, they the worst people in the world, trying to make people feel bad about something they did or what they said. Whatever you said or you did, stand on that. Ain't no. It's just absolutely ridiculous how foolish people are. Overall, I mean, where's the independent thinking, the critical analysis? They're not even involved in the process. So I mean, it's we need to cancel their asses for coming up with this bullshit. But anyway,
Tramal is a fool, bro. Tramal said, "Give Scottie Pippen a chance to coach."
Scottie Pippen, didn't he call Phil Jackson a racist?
Man, that
He's
boy
been
said
going off
that
lately.
boy said Kevin Durant wouldn't be able to play in his era. Come
That
on,
man
man.
crazy,
Kevin
man.
Durant 7 feet tall. I don't care how
He can
skinny
shoot
he
the
is.
ball,
What
man. You
the
crazy,
hell
man.
you talking about,
You
Scotty,
crazy.
man?
He can
Scotty over
play.
the top, man.
Yeah, he
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
And he said Phil Jackson was racist.
That boy on them shrooms or something going on. Anyway, let's get to the next article right here, and this is the next article popping up.
He got to
From
some
the
Future weed, bro. You
there
know
you
that
go. He can't
Future
handle it.
left his weed around his wife.
He ain't been the same
He
since he
got
lost
some of
that
that
old
weed,
girl,
bro.
bro. He ain't been the same since he lost that old girl.
Well, she
But
left him. I thought she was still with him, cucking
yeah,
him.
no, I think she left with the other boy, unless he let him come back. Reports Suns Willie Green, a candidate for the Pelicans head coaching job. This is coming from Arizona Sports here. Willie Green, that's right, family. They're looking at Willie. And Phoenix Suns assistant coach Willie Green is reportedly a candidate for the New Orleans Pelicans head coach vacancy, per the Bleacher Report's Jake Fisher. Green is also reportedly a candidate for both the Magic and the Wizards head coaching jobs as well. Green's 39, has been on head coach Monty Williams' staff since his arrival to the Valley in 2019. The coaching staff sports and with the coaching staff sports an 85-60 record over 2 regular seasons. The Suns return to the playoffs this season, earning a Western Conference Finals berth. Phoenix enters play Wednesday night with a 3-2 lead over the Clippers. Before joining the Phoenix ranks, Green got his coaching start as an assistant to Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors in 2016. During
Mm.
his three-year stint with the Warriors, Green was a part of two championship teams. Green began his NBA career with the Sixers in 03. He was eventually traded in 2010 to New Orleans, joining the Williams-led Hornets. He took his talents to Atlanta the following season before playing for the Clippers in the 2012-2014, the Magic in 2014 and 2015. Excited about Willie Green?
Not disappointed. Knowing he's been under Monty Williams, he was over there with the Warriors, witnessed two championships. He was a player. A lot of people might not know Willie Green, but I remember watching him. He wasn't garbage. You know what I'm saying? He was a decent player. He had a nice little 3-point shot. He get high sometimes, but I think if we did wind up with Willie Green, I think we could make a lot worse moves. I'm not just sure what he brings as a coach, but I think the players would like him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the guy, but I've seen him in person, and I ain't really talked to him, but I've seen him interacting with other people. He just seemed like a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? And he's a Hornet. Like he was with us. He spent all that time under Monty Williams. He know the city. Like he know how we feel about the Pelicans, regardless of what people be saying. They say how they think we feel. So I don't think it would be uh, a bad move. But if I got to go between Willie Green and Freddie Vinson, come on, man, there ain't no contest.
Yeah, this is almost getting to a position, man, where, you know, I mean, you're looking at all these guys, man, and if you're going to look at assistants, and I know they like Charles Lee because he's been in the winning culture with Milwaukee and all this kind of stuff. But to me, if you're not going to get a name coach like a Mark Jackson, you're going to have to settle on an assistant. Why not make Freddie V the man? I mean, he has an obvious relationship to the stars. Why and I understand you're looking, but Fred V should have been the first guy uh, we interviewed. He's in the building. How hard is it to call him up? He in the office right down the corridor from you. Hey Freddie, can you come in here for a second? You ready to get your interview on? Yeah, come on. But you gonna
Nah,
interview?
Freddie ain't gonna do that, man. He saw all the presentations and posters and gadgets and shit Alvin Gentry went in there with, man. That man got to get prepared, bro.
That ain't gonna work on this dude. He did that
But
on
they
Demp.
hired Alvin Gentry because they said they was impressed with his
That's
presentation.
what Demp said. He had all the charts and the graphs. So how I'm like, this dude is insane, man. This dude is insane, man. She was blown away by graphs and charts. Oh my goodness. He hired Gentry. Like this man's insane, man. He's insane.
But how do we, not just us, me and you, Big Q, but the flock too, we all was thinking the same thing when they hired Alvin Gentry. It's like we knew that shit wasn't gonna work. Nobody was excited about that. So you get rid of Monty Williams to sign Alvin Gentry and some damn charts,
Make about right. Sound about right.
some charts and some what you say you drink some Heavenly Hill.
Cheap liquor.
Did
Bad
his breath
whiskey.
smell like peppermint schnapps?
Nah, it smelled like peppermints. He used to scarf them down after them games. Red eyes, man. You know what that man was doing. He liked that. He liked that tough liquor. What's up, Charles? But that's the thing, man. Dealing with it, man. But a lot of stuff going on with the Pelicans. Those are the candidates. Jock Vaughn is taking himself out of there. You're still looking at Charles Lee, who's also a candidate for coaching jobs elsewhere. You got Freddie V in the building as well. Willie Green thrown in there. So I mean, really coming down, and then the dark horse name to throw out there is Kenny Atkinson.
Oh, I thought you
It's
was
a
gonna say Master P. That's what they talking about in the chat.
no. Kenny Atkinson is a dark horse name that they had some reports that he could be a guy, dark horse candidate for the Pelicans position. So also be looking out for him. That's why he was on the thumbnail. I seen that report as well. So
What about Will Weaver? No talk on Will Weaver and
nothing on Will
Mike
Weaver.
D'Antoni. I heard some rumblings about we
Nothing
either
on him either.
interviewed or we could possibly be interviewing with Mike D'Antoni. I don't know why we would we had D'Antoni Jr. and Alvin Gentry. I don't know why we would go to D'Antoni Sr. That really wouldn't make a lot of sense. But
No.
I heard some whispers about us possibly interviewing D'Antoni.
Who's making the call for the coach? Who's hiring the coach?
Who's hiring the coach?
Who's hiring the coach?
Well, apparently, who's supposed to hire the coach, I would think would be the GM. Ain't he in control of like team operations and the players and like the coaching staff? stuff like that. You usually get the coaching staff he wants. I would think the GM would be in charge of that, right? Because the vice president of basketball operation usually hires the GM to be able to make these type of moves. Am I wrong, Q? Can you enlighten me, bro? You know you're an excellent researcher yourself. So can you please share some of that knowledge and wisdom on me if I'm missing something?
Well, I mean, it was told by we had this conversation earlier today over the phone. You was talking about you know something you was doing on commenting with somebody online
Right.
about whose role is it to hire the coach. And then somebody said, "Well, it's the vice president's job." No, 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 no,
No,
no,
no, no. They ain't say
no,
that.
no,
They said they had 10 plus people in the office.
no. The general manager's job is to hire the coach. The VP hires the general manager, so
But the
he handles.
he's over the
Don't
general
matter.
manager though.
Don't matter. The structure set up
So he
so
does
where
everything.
no, he doesn't. The structure is set up where the VP hires the general manager. The general manager then hires the coach because he finds out what kind of system that he wants to operate. And of course, he then because it's his idea to build the team.
And he
The
has to get
team
the players,
the
right?
team's
For the coach, right?
the identity of the team is then created by the general manager who finds the coach to fit the scheme that he best feels that he'll have the most success for this team. And then he hires the coach, and then the coach and the general manager works in unison in building and drafting and free agency and all this kind of stuff. And of course, they then keep the VP in the loop, but it's ultimately the job of the general manager to hire his own coach. And then if the head coach fails, the general manager gets the blame, and his job could be in jeopardy for that. And that's why it was set up because the VP has his own set of things that he has to handle. The general manager is responsible for the hiring of the coach. What's going on right now while people are confused because the Pelicans are operating a dysfunctional version of it where the VP is acting as a defunct general manager. People pretending like Trajan Langdon is actually the general manager when he's not. What has he done that signifies him as the general manager? Somebody said, well, he has it entitled, but in terms of action, he has not performed as a general manager. Well, he only likes to be behind the scene. No, 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 no. You can't do that if you're the general manager. You still have to have press conferences. You can't elect or opt out on press conferences. You're the general manager. If the vision of the team is blurred, it's your responsibility to convey the message to the rest of the Pelican faithful and tell them, listen, this is what's going on and this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to fix it. He does not do press conferences. This is a dysfunctional system. I've been saying that from the get-go. You've got to allow him to be the general manager. You got to let him pick his own coach. And then they get together and they pick them and they keep the VP in the loop, but it's the general manager's head if it fails. That's why he has all the responsibilities of picking his coach. The coach fails, and if he picks again and fails again, the general manager could be fired. The VP could fire him for that. So it's his head on the chopping block.
Why is everybody trying to fire David Griffin when he's the VP of basketball operations?
Because
apparently, he just hires the general manager. He's supposed to hire the coach, and then he's supposed to sit back in his office and sip martinis, right?
He's supposed to go handle the business of VP's supposed to do, and we categorize that. We read the definition of what a general manager is supposed to do. A VP is supposed to do.
Right.
That's what he's supposed to do. Go back into his office, close the door, and allow the general manager to make his mistakes, make the good and the bad, whether it's good or the bad. He needs to handle that. If he's making mistakes or having problems, he needs to fix that. He being the general manager, not the VP. The VP should not be as visible as he is in this process. He needs not to be seen, and it needs to be Langdon because he's an octopus, he's a micromanager, and he's totally disrespecting Trajan Langdon the way he handles this. And Langdon trying to play it off like, well, I'd rather play it to the back. I don't want to be on that. No, 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 no. The reason why you're doing that is because you're not. I don't think you're the real general manager. Even the press done caught on to that. Even when they would ask him questions, even when he was on the table, the rare times that you've seen him, they would ask him one question and then shoot all questions past his ass to VP David Griffin. Why? Because they know. And even the national reporters write these articles know that man not really the general manager. Only entitled, he's not performing any duties like a general manager. Griffin's doing all of the GMing, and this is dysfunctional.
Till brings up an interesting point though. I did read an article where they said that BI and general manager Trajan Langdon was at the Suns and Clippers game. Hmm?
Well, let's see what he
Could
do.
they be talking to Willie Green?
We'll see.
Hmm?
We'll see. It could be possible, Till. Thanks for that tidbit. But we'll see exactly what
Maybe
happens.
Trajan Langdon is hiring the coach like he's supposed to be. Hmm?
He's supposed to be hiring the coach, man. It's Trajan Langdon's neck on the job, on the line here. He needs to be the guy that's doing it, not David Griffin talking about holding his hand and all that. You are incompetent if he's doing that. Then you're not a professional. If your boss got to speak up for you and hold your hand through processes, you don't need to have the job. You are classified as incompetent. You might as well be you might as well be the man's child for all that. Well, he can't speak for himself, so I'm gonna speak for him. Why not? He don't know English. Oh, he know English, Q, but I just want to protect him. Why?
No,
He can't fight?
he's
He can't speak
shy.
for himself?
He's shy.
He's just shy. Oh no, well, you don't need you in the wrong job then, dude. Come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. And that's what I'm saying.
I done seen a lot. I done seen a lot of stuff. I've rarely seen a shy professional.
I'm serious, man. They tell you anything,
in a media position.
Like, man, I've been telling them that before these reporter people even much mention that, man. We was on top of this saying, bro, do you realize what's going on here? Do you not see who's making the calls? And do you not see who's always out front screwing it up, messing it up, wanting the credit for it because he know he didn't really do that in Cleveland. He didn't really win that championship. That was LeBron's championship. And you can look at all the shitty garbage time deals that he made, those terrible deals that he signed, all that. And then you come here and trying to make your bones with the Pelicans by being all in everybody's business. So like I said, man, and even Elvin Gentry alluded to saying that too, because he was screwing around with Zion's minutes when he wanted him to play.
You gotta ask them.
Gotta ask them that.
I don't know.
My understanding is that he was cleared to play. I don't know. Well, you know exactly who was meddling around in that. Right. You got David Griffin. You've got to take your hands off of this team and let the general manager, Trajan Langdon, and his assistant, which is Swin, do their thing. You got to let these people do their thing. You got to take your hands off of them and let these professionals handle their business. You are screwing up every damn thing. And like I said, I'm not against Willie Green. I think Willie Green might have potential, but this is Freddie V's job, man. If you're looking for an assistant, Freddie V. I mean, he has the ear of all of the people. He should have been interviewed first. I think it's just disrespectful. I agree with you on that they're not looking at Freddie V and interviewing him first, and he in the damn building. He up in the building with your ass.
Well, let me ask you this: if let's say they did interview him first, and then they continue to interview other people, that wouldn't be disrespectful as well.
No, that wouldn't
especially if he had a good interview, and you had a good interview. Yeah, but and Zion wants you.
It's just
Brad
optics.
Ingram wants you.
DC is all about optics, man. It's about optics, bro. And when you have Fred Vinson in the building, Fred Vinson built the organization for 11 years. I mean, how much more he got to go through to get a shot at the job? You know what he did for the stars, the established stars on the team. They love this guy. Zion, BI, and Lonzo, the top three.
Raving about him all they love last offseason. That's so all they talked about.
All about how they help this, that, and the third. And even though we know Freddie V's never been a head coach before, we do know that if you put Teresa Weatherspoon with him, elevate her as a higher assistant.
Yeah, she need to give speeches.
And then bring
the motivational speeches, boy.
And bring in a few other people let Freddie V bring in a few people, have a veteran behind him. Add Will Weaver in there. Now, what you will see is you'll see a Pelican club, a young Pelican team playing free, having fun, and listening to Freddie Vinson. He have their ears. I mean, and then of course, Freddie V from internally been there for 11 years. I mean, of course, he's been there when Griffin's there, so he's used to his octopus style of play. He has a relationship with everybody in the building. So unless you have an assistant that's just blowing the doors off everybody, Fred Vinson should have been the guy. So hopefully they're supposed to interview him this week. Hopefully they make the charge and end up getting Freddie Vinson, because I think he's the best fit for this whole operation. I mean, you screwed up with Van Gundy. You screwed up with Elvin Gentry. At least make the players happy by giving them Fred Vinson.
Most definitely, man. Fred Vinson would be the ideal candidate. And we said that before we started covering any of these guys, because we done already went through 2 head coaches. the last thing I want to do is to shock these guys again and have such a drastic change to the point where they're disinterested or they're thrown off of their rhythm again. Like, let's create some type of consistency. Let's continue to build some type of chemistry and camaraderie with people that are already there. Um, I think it can be done with Freddie V. And honestly, we got a shitload of talent. So to me, it's like when you got guys that are this good at basketball and Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and you got these guys that we have that are talented. We are lacking some shooters, and that does show. But just because we're lacking shooters doesn't mean the other guys that we had on this team aren't extremely talented. So if you just kind of get out their way, man, and let them play ball, and you gotta build a discipline with them because they're young, but you don't want to stifle them like the way we saw them with Van Gundy, man. It was a totally different team offensively. You know what I'm saying? They were more efficient offensively under Alvin Gentry. And actually, the defensive numbers wasn't that much worse than SVG, at least for the most part of the season. And later half of the season, the defense started stepping up once he realized that, he had Willie Herman Gomez and he had Najee Marshall on the bench. For some reason, it took him a whole season to figure that shit out. I just never understood that with coaches. Like, why you got to take all these lumps just because guys are veterans and you see they're not out there performing. And you got other bodies that are out there that you can at least. I mean, I understand if you try them out and the dude just messing up all over the place. All right, I can't use him. I got to go back to the vet. He wouldn't even try these dudes out. Nope. By the time he tried them out, the season was halfway gone, and he's like, "Wow, I can play these guys." Like, it took you all year to figure that out. Now I don't know who we blame. Is that SVG or Stan Van? I mean, David Griffin. But either way, man, it's ridiculous. So Freddie V, he knows this team, knows who does what, works with a lot of these guys with shooting, obviously knows where their spots are. How hard is it to draw up a play for a guy when you know where he shoot the best at? Because I've been training you shooting for the last 2 years, 3 years. So it made the most sense to me. We've already said that unless we could just get this knock him out the ballpark candidate, which I don't see it out there. I see some guys that can obviously be good coaches. Yeah. Lamborghini Cam, you heard me? Camborghini. That's what they calling him after that game. But anyway, man, I don't see why you would move on for Freddie V after the candidates they got. I don't see nobody who just blowing me out the water that'll just surpass him and his IQ of the team already, knowing probably what everybody else has done wrong. I think people underestimate that. Like, you could look at a damn fool and you can learn how not to do stuff. And when you get a chance to get in position, your decisions can be a lot better just because you're seeing somebody make all the wrong decisions and you actually paying attention. So just because he ain't been a head coach before, he watched us go through several head coaches. And the one that had the most consistency, in my opinion, Monty Williams, he was here for that too. So he know what Monty was doing right. He know what Alvin Gentry did right and wrong. He know what Stan Van Gundy did right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? So Freddie V all day, man. I hope he get the job because these other guys ain't blowing me away. But at the same time, I wouldn't be upset with Willie Green or Charles Lee either. I wouldn't be like just disappointed because they did go. They would have went young, and we know that's what they need to do. The one thing that they ain't been doing, and I think no matter what, if they get a younger coach, this team is obviously going to be way better.
Can't be no worse. Let's move into the final article right here. Report Pelicans open to trading the Picks from Yahoo Sports. Came out to yesterday, and they talk about the Pelicans. Now, this is kind of what we were talking about. A lot of the Pelican faithful was saying the same thing. The reported unhappiness of Zion Williamson will likely shape, at least in some capacity, how the Pelicans operate this offseason. So while the team has a treasure trove of draft picks in the coming years, including 5 picks in this year's draft, highlighted by the number 10 pick, adding that many rookies to a team looking to win in the short term is not a compatible strategy. With that in mind, it's not too surprising that ESPN's Givney reported the Pelicans are more than open to dealing the number 10th pick in the upcoming draft in his latest draft release. And this is what he was saying, that on paper, the Pelicans need to continue to add shooting to maximize playmaking and slashing ability of Zion Williamson. In reality, the last thing the team needs is another rookie. And the number 10th pick is believed to be one of the most valuable of any, and a lot of it simply due to the team's expedited timeline. Gidey, as a number of fans around the NBA, is getting looks much higher than this slot and could be a definite target for a team looking to move up in the draft. Raises a lot of interesting possibilities for the Pelicans. The obvious first guess is to try to predict what players could be had with the number 10 pick. And that draft has a clear top 5 players, then a drop to a larger next tier of players. The 10th pick has value, but not a demonstrably greater value than the picks around it. Another potential outcome is the 10th pick could be used to offload a contract like Eric Bleeding Sores.
This BS, man.
In a straight salary dump, the number 10 pick would be an overpay. But if the Pelicans bringing back another asset, whether in a pick or a player in a trade, could make sense. By unloading Bleeding Sores contract, the Pelicans could then potentially retain either both Lonzo or Josh Hart, each of whom have a far greater impact than Bledsoe. It also opens a set of interesting scenarios they could play out over the next month. So DC, this is an article from Yahoo Sports entitled Pelicans Open to Trade number 10 pick. Don't know if I would be interested in trading that, putting that pick and packaging it with Bledsoe. I mean, we can make that pick work for us.
Bledsoe and Adams, and you get a good player. Okay, I could see that. But just offloading the 10 pick just to get Bledsoe and some role player, that's stupid. Like, the 10 pick, in my opinion, is worth more than that. You should at least get a starter. If I could offload Bledsoe and get a competent, starting shooting guard, small forward, stretch forward, center, anything. But if they're good, you know what I'm saying, then I could see that. That's right, Till. I was dying laughing on myself, bro, looking at Camberghini. But we definitely should move on from this 10 pick if we could. But just using it to offload Bledsoe, man, that's crazy, man. I don't know why people sit up there and think you got to use a first round draft pick just to offload a bad contract. Who does that? What player that wasn't a superstar or at least had superstar potential or was once a superstar? That's exactly how many points he scored in that playoff game too. Keep it moving, player. But what superstar or a guy that wasn't a superstar did they use a first round pick to get rid of? Like I don't remember none. It's usually like a second round pick, couple of second round picks. Like Eric Bledsoe's contract is basically expiring after this year. Why are they talking like it's gonna take a first round pick to get rid of that? Like, y'all serious? I don't get it, Big Q. I think people just running out of stuff to talk about ideas to be creative. We're trying to flip a 10 pick. I mean, just go back and look at history and see what people got when they were able to trade a 10 pick. Maybe we able to package that 10 pick with one of our future picks and we move up in the draft. Something like that I wouldn't be opposed to. Or you send 2 first and you actually go get a guy you want. Oh shit, just throw 4 or 5 at him and go make a play at Bradley Beal and Dame Lillard and all of this, even though I don't think Dame going nowhere. But you get my thinking. Just go swing for the fences with 4 or 5 picks. But just that use the 10 pick to get rid of Eric Bledsoe, that's retarded.
Yeah, and that's the sentiment. A lot of people, I think what it is just people sick of seeing them and they want them up out of here. I think that's a big part of it. And even though he got that 1 year left on his deal, I don't think we need to give up the 10th pick. We can use the 10th pick to land a shooter and a future pick to offload Bledsoe if we need to do that. So I mean, I still say the 10th pick can help you. And then, of course, we can still address whatever we need to address starting. I think after we get the coach situation resolved, I think the next big leg to drop is what do we do with Lonzo Ball? Do the Pelicans pay Lonzo Ball or do they go get somebody else? That's another big shoe to drop there.
You know what I hear a lot of, Big Q? I hear a lot of we not going to pay Lonzo Ball. But I don't hear a lot of what the hell are we going to replace him with? They act like we get rid of Lonzo Ball and we just automatically get better. Like, Lonzo Ball does a lot. You know what I'm saying? That you can't just replace that dude with just any old body. and think you're gonna be competing at a high level, like regardless of what people feel about him, they say he timid and he don't have no layup game and all this. Well, look at what the brother can do. And he does bring a lot of positives to the team alongside of chemistry with your best players. Like the best players on the team is basically his damn best friends, both of them. Damn near. Or at least, in a basketball sense. Like they love being around each other, love playing with each other. And the dude want 20 million. We say we ain't gonna pay over 18. Maybe that's just a bit of negotiating they doing, trying to meet in the middle at 19. But if we don't sign him, what are our options? Because if you ask me, just going off of free agency, we know goddamn well if we go in free agency to get somebody at least as good as Lonzo Ball, even though they may have a different skill set, but just on the same level, we gonna have to overpay for their ass anyway too, right? Am I wrong? Nobody don't come to New Orleans, especially right now with us not winning. Maybe if we coming off a winning season, they might consider it. But we look a mess right now. So who we gonna draw in free agency that's supposed to just replace what Lonzo Ball could do? Love Kyra, but Kyra ain't the defender that Lonzo Ball is, and he's not the facilitator, in my opinion, that he is. Even though I think Kyra is gonna be a damn good point guard, but he still needs to get bigger. He's still learning. You know what I'm saying? That guy is gonna take him a while, man. Point guard is the hardest position in the league. No deserve to start, but no, we see it. Like, man, no won't shoot. No trying to channel his inner Kobe. He not trying to be the damn point guard of the future, even though he could throw some dimes here or there. But he not about to sit up there and do that for a whole game and be highly efficient at it. I would like to see Noel start at shooting guard, or at least give him a hell of a big role off the bench, like we talked about Manu Ginobili, Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams type thing, where he's like a guy off the bench, but pretty much closing out the game. That's what they're doing with him in Canada right now. Like he was balling out the other day. Today he had like 11 points, think 4, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. No, looked like the most talented dude on that team, man. He playing with R.J. Barrett, Andrew Wiggins. What's another one of the little guys, man? Lou Dort is over there on that team with him. You know what I'm saying? And they played China, so I mean they beat them by 30 today. I can't give them too much credit for that. They couldn't ball with shit. But but they played Greece the game before, and Nall was pretty impressive, man. He came out, scored 8 straight points. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you on. I don't remember who put that in the chat, but I think Nall does deserve a shot at being a starter, and we see what he can do. But that's gonna replace Lonzo Ball. All right, who gonna play point guard still? You just helped me put Eric Bledsoe ass on the bench where he belong. Now who playing point guard? Eric Bledsoe? So we gonna roll. We gonna not sign Lonzo Ball, but we gonna pay Eric Bledsoe 18 million and start Null, and that's gonna fix everything. I don't think so. As
No,
much as talented as Null is, I don't see that fixing everything.
no, I think it's time for the Pelicans to do the right thing and get a re-up with Lonzo Ball. I think that's the best thing they can do. And then you mentioned a lot of great points. So is the rest of the family members. But I just want to kind of piggyback all these great points to the fact that Bi and Zion want him. So what's more important than that? You're trying to make Zion happy, right? And Bi happy. Well, they both want Lonzo Ball to be here.
Right.
So I mean that kind of solves itself. But common sense things don't obviously mean that it's going to be common sense, especially in the David Griffin administration, where he overdoes everything damn near. He overspends it. And that's the ridiculousness of everything that we see going on with the Pelicans right now. Common sense moves are overthought. I mean, Freddie Vint, this is a layup move. If you're looking for an assistant, if you're looking for a guy with experience, I mean, real experience. Now, I mean, nothing poo-poo Jacques Vaughn. I'm pretty sure he's a decent head coach, but you want somebody, if you're going to go out there and look for a guy with coaching experience, then go all the way out. Do a thorough search. Go out and talk to guys. Go talk to Mark Jackson. At least give him an interview to see where his head's at. Go
Right.
open your search up for other guys as well. Maybe Jerry Stackhouse, maybe a few other players. Just reach out to a few of these people. Talk to them. But if you're looking for an assistant on the team, and I understand you're looking at Charles Lee, Freddie Vinson don't overthink this thing. And I hope they don't
Exactly.
overlook
That's
it.
exactly what it.
They're gonna over
Seems like
they're
they
gonna
doing.
they're gonna overthink the thing like they've been. Why? And I have zero confidence in this administration, and I'm saying administration, and I'm only talking about one person, and that's David Griffin because he accessed the whole damn thing. I have zero confidence in David Griffin when he came here and screwed it up when he didn't fire Elvin Gentry, and I was telling him you need to fire that guy. You come up here and change everybody in the building, the janitors and everything, and then you mean to tell me you leave Gentry sitting on top of the team, and you wondering why you failed? I mean, the guy won one time in 5 years and whoop de freaking do, and he had Rondo on the floor waving off his substitutions. Tell him, nah, keep them in there. I mean, it was a joke. It was a joke. And then of course you get SVG, who shouldn't have been a front candidate for anybody. I don't know how the Van Gundys were number one candidates last summer, and both of them were sitting their ass on the broadcast booth for years. And then SVG was a failed GM candidate. He ain't coached in years. He was a general manager the last basketball job he had before they put him in unemployment line this time around. So, it's just the ridiculous amounts of incompetence that Griffin displays is just unreal. I have zero confidence in him. I don't want him involved in the process where the GM is there, and it appears that we got a very weak general manager who needs to speak up for himself and says, look, you gave me the GM job. Either let me do this or take this goddamn job back and stick it where the sun don't shine. Don't let nobody play with you like that, bro. You know what a GM is. You know what a GM does. The GM is supposed to hire the coach. And they got idiots out here confused about that. Want to talk to you about the Pelicans, but don't even know what the fucking GM's supposed to do. Oh, it's David Griffin's job to hire. No. Griffin hires the general manager. The general manager hires the coach. And he goes in his office and close the goddamn door and answer the phone and handle business on that level. The general manager hires the coach. The general manager helps with the coach grafting the vision for the team moving forward. That's why you have dysfunction, because even the people covering the fucking Pelicans don't even know what a general manager is supposed to do because they believe in this bullshit with David Griffin. But we know better than that, and you won't flim-flam us with this garbage. I don't have zero confidence in him. He overthinks everything. He want to spin everything, and the son bitch never take blame. He never take blame for decisions. It's always a spin. We blame it on the COVID, blame it on this, blame it on that.
But check this out, Q. The job of the vice president is when they have a media circus or some big thing going, he's supposed to come in and calm everything down and take the blame. that's what the vice president. That's when you're supposed to hear the vice president speak. Like if let's say the whole thing like the Blazers got going on with Chauncey Billups and that whole thing, that's when you're supposed to hear David Griffin. You know what I'm saying? When you got stuff that's like not directly connected to the vision of the basketball team, trades and the players, but all of those things kind of outside of that, a guy got arrested, all these things. That's when David Griffin is supposed to speak. You're the vice president of basketball operation. When your medical staff is doing great and they want to give an award or whatever, the vice president of basketball operation is up there talking about the medical staff that he hired and the cafeteria ladies that are doing amazing or whatever else is going on in the organization. The general manager is supposed to general manage the team. The vice president of basketball operations is over the whole organization.
Well, and so far,
I don't know how he doing all that. It's still being part-time GM too.
But it's a pecking order, man.
Something getting fucked up, ain't it?
It's a pecking order here. And the VP hires the general manager. It's in his goddamn title, for goodness sake. General manager. He manages everything, fool. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just ridiculous. And people are confused because they're looking at the Griffin model, which is a defunct, dysfunctional, losing model that won't work. He has to know he doesn't stay in his lane. He doesn't understand what roles are. As the VP, you got to allow people to do their job. And if they screw up and if they don't succeed, then you have discipline for them. You can fire them and get somebody else. But you cannot meddle in their job while they're trying to do their job. You got to allow them to make their own mistakes, and you got to let them do their own thing. Not everything they do going to be perfect, but you got to let them do that. This guy is meddling in everything, and he's destroying the that area of the team, and there is no vision. He keep talking about sustain this or that. What's the vision for the Pelicans? What are we shooting for here? I know we said that we didn't want the Bucks. You didn't want the Pelicans to have a look like what the Bucks look like. But what do the Pelicans? I mean, there is no vision, because if you get the guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm sorry, pardon my French.
I think it's a partial vision. Like they know that they need to maximize Zion. I think outside of that,
but he's not a coach. But that's what I'm saying. Well, we got to get by Zion Williamson. Well, Lordy,
that's the. I mean, that's an easy vision to pick.
Come on. We got to get Lonzo, Bi, and Zion involved. Well,
we need to get Lonzo out of here because he's messing up Zion Williamson in the BI game.
Well, whoop de do. We got to get them to go. Now, how exactly do we do that, VP? How do we do that? Well, we got to be sustainable, and then it gets all general. It goes all general, nothing specific, because there is no vision. You've got to let the general manager create the identity. Him and the head coach hired his style of head coach. For instance, you might have a guy that might comes from a background that he likes how the old Memphis Grizzlies used to do it when there was the grit and grind system. He might figures, you know what? Let's bring in that grit and grind system to New Orleans. We play gritty defense and we get our offense off the back of the defense. Monty Williams, that's how Monty was. That's what his principle was. Let's get offense off the defense. And his style, and he takes the Memphis Grizzlies old school system and do that. That's a vision. What is the vision of this team? It's like, we got to get this guy, but there is no specifics because the vision is not matching the head coach and hirings. And you got, like you said, 260 plus year old men over a young team. I mean,
that's just not smart, man.
You fire Gentry and hire a guy 3-4 years younger, 2 or 3 years younger than him. Oh, you got a younger coach compared to Gentry.
What you mean? Gentry, they're about damn near the same age. He wasn't but like a year younger.
I'm about to try to say still he's younger compared to Gentry. He's a younger man than Gentry.
Come on, man, they both in their 60s, bro.
But I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. But he can say that. But he can say that to you.
I can't, bro. That's the same shit.
He can say
one of them get drunk all the time. The other one eating all the goddamn time. Hey, they both got addictions.
Rock and roll's all over the place. But listen, all I'm saying is this, is that he can say, truthfully, y'all asked me to hire a younger coach, and I gave you that. I hired, and Van Gundy is younger than Gentry. But look, bro, I was saying, listen, we need a younger coach, but we mean like somebody, maybe in their 40s, somewhere up in there. You got him on the team. You confused? Should we give you a hint? It's the same guy that Lonzo loves, B.I. loves, and Zion loves. They love this guy because he helped them with their game. He's a big part of the organization. He's been with the Pelicans for over 10 years. He deserves an opportunity. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He's in-house. And he won't cost you a lot of money, which you can't spend because you're paying Gentry and SVG. So, I mean, it solves all problems, don't it? Makes sense? What say you? Charles, no, we got to go talk to Charles Lee because he was dealing with Giannis in Middleton. Oh, well, whoop-de-doo. What about Vinson? He was dealing with B.I. and Zion. So, I mean, come on, man. Come on, miss me with this. Fred Vinson is the guy. So we're going to see how it all shakes. But I have zero, just to let the flock know. And look, family, y'all know I'm passionate. I'll be keeping it real up here because I'm getting tired of this stuff with this general manager, with all this bull. He won't let these guys do their job, and the reporters is not telling it like it is. So somebody got to tell it like it is. Somebody got to lay it down and keep it real and say what it is.
Pelicans post-game report, it, dog.
Gotta tell the truth. Everybody, what the general manager do? No, it's VP David Griffin's job.
Man, everybody confused, bro. No, I was surprised when I saw the article that Till brought up, and they called Langdon the GM. I was like, well, holy shit. Maybe times is changing, bro. Maybe the squeaky wheel do get the grease. Us beating this drum for the last year and a half, maybe it's finally getting through, bro. Just maybe. Elliot Williams, she said together 100 years older than Zion, them two coaches together.
100 years of failure.
100 years older than Zion. God damn, that is a lot of experience.
Yeah,
That's a lot of experience.
yeah, and a lot of losing too, because both of them couldn't do nothing with all them years of experience. They couldn't one winning season out
Tortoise
of
level experience,
bro,
though. That's a lot of
out of all
experience,
the
though.
coaching experience. And Gentry, remember Gentry's favorite line was, "In all of the 30 years I was a coach, I never seen that."
Say, bro, that man used to say that shit every other night. I'm like, well, goddamn.
Well, all the 30 years of experiences, I never had a bad loss.
Q, it was one play that
Oh,
sums up
Gentry,
his
I ain't gonna lie,
whole.
I miss him a little bit. I miss him a
He
little
was
bit, man.
funny. We used to get we used to die laughing off. He was funny,
I
bro.
miss
It
him a
was
little
funny,
bit.
bro. But there's one play that just sum up his whole tenure here to me. That's when they was in the bubble, bro. Lonzo made a steal and had like a clear path all the way up the court for a layup. Gentry called timeout. Still look at this shit.
I
He
remember
called a
that.
timeout.
Like, what
There
are
was
you
nobody
doing?
there. There was nobody there, Q. It was
Hold
like
on, we gotta
a
stop. We
clear
gotta
path
reset the play.
layup, though.
We gotta stop it.
I said, boy, if that ain't Alvin Gentry for you right there, boy. Just completely unaware what the hell going on.
The boy had that Heavenly Hill in him that time, boy. He seen ghosts. He like, man, I gotta stop. He about to run into that man. Call the timeout. Crazy, man. But we done seen some silly stuff in Pelican basketball covering the
Oh
man,
man.
doing this stuff as long as we've been covering, bro. We done seen some crazy stuff, man.
It's just a dumpster fire. Boy, they were putting that shit on shirts and everything. It's one thing I will give Alvin Gentry credit for, bro. That motherfucker was funny. Boy, he give you a laugh, bro. You pay
Oh
attention
man.
to it, you're gonna get a laugh, bro.
Oh
You're gonna
man.
get a laugh. And then I remember JJ Redick and Drew Holiday in the press conference. I don't know what the hell he talking about.
Oh man. They said, I
Bro,
was
it
like,
was so many funny ass
I
moments,
said,
dog.
did you hear that? Did you what he just said? I don't know
They
what
went
Devin
right
Booker talking
behind
about.
Alvin Gentry after he was talking on the podium. They said, I don't know what the hell he talking about. Who does that to their coach, bro? Only Alvin Gentry, dog. Only the great Alvin Gentry.
Well, fam, that's gonna do it for the show.
Oh.
I'd like to thank all y'all for chiming in for this Wednesday edition of the Pelican Post Game Report. I hope you guys had as much fun as we had tonight, even though it's a bit precarious and we still got some stuff that we're looking at. Hopefully, the Pelicans will be able to. Well, I mean, the draft is when is it? July the 29th. So, I mean, the draft is July the 29th. The Pelicans hoping to make a hire, from what I'm hearing on the Twitterverse, within the next 2 weeks. 7 to 10 days to be more accurate.
Where they getting these calculations from is what I try to figure out. Who the hell
Inside,
saying this?
inside baseball says they want to have the coach in the building within the next 7 to 10 days,
Yeah, because the
and
coach already in the
planning
building.
out 14 days. Yeah, he is in already in business. So I mean, because they need to get the strategy together and stuff that leads to us putting the team and building the identity.
God
Yeah,
forbid we hire another coach when they start asking about draft picks, he starts shaking and shit. God, God forbid we do that.
I still can't believe that guy was shaking when they asked him, "Who you want me to draft for you?" No. I would have fired him on us. I would have had him. I would have given him a psych evaluation, and also would have ordered him to take a drug test right on the spot when he started doing that.
He did
I'm
draft
like, what's
Stanley
wrong with him?
Johnson and with like the 6 or 7 pick Q. He did. He did that. He did that Q.
Johnson? We had Stanley Johnson down here. Boy, Stanley Johnson, boy, he was terrible. Couldn't play no defense. That's the thing that Stanley Johnson was supposed to be good at. He don't even, it's not even good defense no more. I was like, damn, that was a really crazy,
Couldn't do
crazy
nothing.
pick. That was a bad pick, boy. That was a really bad pick. Bad. All right. So with that being said, fam, look, man, I appreciate y'all chiming in on the broadcast tonight. Much love to the family members. DC will be back Friday.
Oh yeah.
Friday at 8 o'clock. Well, probably what, DC, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock?
Uh
9 o'clock? Which one?
we go 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. We'll be back
Cause
Friday.
you know it usually take us a while on Friday, boy. They coming. They
Yeah.
coming in the chat, boy. We got them snipers, you know what I'm saying? They coming. They coming in the chat. We already know. And we gotta get it started, man, so we can let everybody talk their stuff.
Yep.
Let's say 8 o'clock, bro.
Yeah, 8 o'clock it is. So we'll be back on Friday at 8 o'clock, family. Please feel free to join us. We'll have some more Pelican news. We'll also open up the lines of communication. Let's see what the flock is thinking. How you guys feel about all these coaches, Willie Green and Charles Lee, and of course, finally the Pelicans are supposed to interview Fred Vinson. I don't know which day they didn't specify, but it's supposed to be before the end of this week. So hopefully between now and Friday, Freddie V gets his interview.
And
And
again, Bi being with Trajan Langdon at that Phoenix game, man, and we know Willie Green is a guy they talking about getting some coaching consider. I think that's a huge thing because that means they're actually taking into consideration what the players are thinking.
I know KK saying
That's,
hire a female Q. I know they got.
I'm not opposed to hiring a female, but
I don't
I
think
feel
they
like
do
I
it
don't
though.
think we should be the first team to do that with the climate that we
Why
got
not?
and the pressure we got on us.
But why not? You got a female owner. The
Yeah,
Pelicans should be the right team to get a female coach. You got a female owner.
yeah.
So I mean
But
that.
you don't think that's added pressure on top of the pressure that we already have to win? Like she really, I would think it'd be like putting. I'm almost against like having somebody that's new to coaching a little bit to being a coach because it's like you putting them in a bad spot. Like this is a high pressure job,
I
man.
know it can't be
And
helped though.
if it goes wrong, let's say we do get a female coach, right? And it goes wrong, we are the template for all female coaches now. Oh, you seen what happened in New Orleans? You can't get a female coach. I don't know. I just think I like to see Becky Hammond with the Spurs get to take over for Greg Popovich and for everybody talk about how genius she is and just see it in her comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? Damn, KK 504 lady. I thought I was telling the truth. How you feel? We need to come in the chat on Friday and tell us what you think, because you obviously got some opinions you want to voice.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, if you look at, I don't think Griffin makes this hire. I mean, he done ran out of bullets. I mean, Gentry was one, and I said that. I said, listen, bro, if you don't get rid of Gentry coming in the door, then and bring in your own guy, you know, that Gentry firing him is going to be on you. It's not going because the last general manager was his mistake, and you kept it. That's going to be a mark on you. So he's going into his third year being a general manager, VP guy, and he's already facing the firing squad already in his third year because he would have had a little bit more leverage if he would have fired Gentry coming in the door. But that's two coaches under the 2 years, the 3 years that he been here. It's going to be the third coach in 3 years that he been. That's not the model. That's not sustainability, Griffin, which shows you full of shit again. So I mean, it's just he's under the gun, literally, figuratively, to get this hire right. And I don't think he goes with a female coach. And if I had to guess, I would have to agree with DC. I think the best spot for that to happen probably would be with San Antonio because Greg Popovich, man, I've been seeing Popovich, man. He looks sick, man. He looks real bad, man. Bad. And I don't know if something going on there. He looks bad, man.
You be looking
But
like your boy from Back to the Future lately,
yeah,
bro.
I'm like, he looked real bad. Like, I don't know, was he like he deteriorating his health? I mean, he just looks sickly and weak and frail. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong, but I don't think so. He looked sick to me, is what I'm saying. But anyway, that might be the place where Becky would because she got the respect of those players there because she's been there for a long time and she know basketball. That's one thing I know about Becky Hammond. She know basketball, man, and she does coach well. And Teaspoon needs a little bit more seasoning, but I think she has
I think Teaspoon got the personality
she
for
do
it though. She just need like
she needs some
to
seasoning,
learn more about the NBA for
right?
his coaching and all that. And I think she probably would be one of the ones that'll be
Yeah,
able to do it and be damn good at it, in my
yeah. She
opinion.
needs some. She need a little bit more season. That's why I said like you give Freddie V and make her like the top assistant right there because she got the ear of Zion and they like man, make
They
her she
always talking about her, boy.
right that keep her there, make her the top assistant, putting her with Freddie V, and Freddie V will be leaning on her a lot too. I mean, like I'm saying, it make all the sense in the world getting them as opposed to bringing in some guy that them people don't even know, man. Well, this guy is a smart up and coming. I mean, it just
This the new
overthinks.
coach again in the third year.
Now get excited about this guy.
We not gonna fire him after this year. We trust me.
He's a
This is
terrific human.
the guy. He said he's a terrific human.
If he introduces him as a terrific human,
oh shit,
that means he's gonna be fired.
What if he introduced him as he said, I like to introduce our new coach. He's a great man. What if
He's
he
gonna be
introduce him
fired.
like that?
He's gonna be fired in a year.
Damn.
Don't believe when he calls people
terrific
great
humans and great men don't make it, huh?
They don't make it. Remember, Drew Holiday was a great man.
No. No, with Drew Holiday, he was a wonderful human being.
And he's gone. He traded his ass out of there.
Man, when you seen that hype job, bro, he got behind the mic, just was talking Drew up the whole goddamn week, and then he was traded.
Talking him up to trade him.
Man, the NBA was in on that shit. They gave Drew Holiday the best teammate in the whole league award, and they still get traded. Like, I mean, I understand we had to trade Drew Holiday, but just the optics of that shit, bro, that is horrible, dude.
I know.
How do I win an award for being the best teammate?
And then you get traded the next
week. And I get traded. No, it was like the next 2 days.
Like, your value's never been high.
What the fuck? Oh man, I couldn't.
Your value's never been high.
But you know the real thing I hate, bro, and we all hate the same thing we talk about with the Saints. I understand they do strategy and all of this shit to try to one up the other team, but we just hate liars. David Griffin paraded his ass around a microphone the whole 2019 offseason. Oh, we're not trading Drew Holiday. Oh, I talked to Drew about this. And, you know, sometimes guys' names come up in trade talks. It just happens and blah, 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 and all this shit. We're not trading. He's a pillar in the community. He's a great human being. You said 5 first-round picks? You out of here! Get your great ass out of here. Just like that, Q. After I mean, this man went on a tirade to try to convince everybody of the obvious that he wasn't trading Drew Holiday.
And then trade them.
Right. You got Ryan Windhurst fat ass up there keep talking about it. Drew Holiday says he wants to leave the Pelicans. Blah, blah, blah. And all these people. And then David Griffin, we're not trading Drew. Drew doesn't want to go in. Matter of fact, we're going to give him permission to succeed. We're going to give him permission to dominate and be an MVP candidate. I said, look at this shit. I ain't never heard of an MVP candidate needing permission from the goddamn, not even the general manager, but the vice president of basketball operations to dominate. Come on, man.
This is all very terrible.
Come on, man. Like, you can't, man. You can't make this shit up, Q. It's almost like a bad soap opera sometimes.
Yeah, and we need to change it. I think we'll see just how it is, man. And we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes, man, because it's going to be interesting watching this whole thing. Zane says Griffin's next job should be a politician. Yeah, you're right on that, fam. He'd be
a hell of a politician.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing. All right, fam. So we're gonna get out on that. Much love to the family members. Please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe if you're on the subscribe, and join the flock today. We'll be back Friday at 8:00 with another Pelican post game. We'll open up the line of communications to hear from you guys as well on the next show. DC, my friend, you have a good night, bro. Get you some rest, and I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Much love to the flock. Y'all keep your hearts and minds open on this stuff, and we're gonna keep monitoring this, and hopefully they get this one right.
No, they gonna get it right. We gotta affirm it, bro. They gonna get it right because they gonna let Trajan Langdon do it. They gonna get it right because they gonna let Trajan Langdon do it. Say it with me, Q. They gonna get it right because they gonna let Trajan Langdon. What, Q? You can't give an interview being a damn mime. You got to talk.
Bye-bye, Pelican family. Peace.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.